Good morning and welcome to The Early Bird, the show where we sit down with local entrepreneurs and hear the real stories behind what they've built. The wins, the losses, and the lessons learned along the way. I'm Jefferson from Two Birds Marketing, and in today's episode, I'm sitting down with Mario, the owner of Play with Clay here in Center Wellington. This episode of The Early Bird is brought to you by Two Birds Marketing. Two Birds Marketing is a local marketing company team right here in Center Wellington, helping businesses grow through strategy, storytelling, and digital marketing that actually works. If you're building something and want people to know about it, visit us on our website, twobirdsmarketing.ca. All right, there we are.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I am excited to hear about you. I'm
Okay.
excited to hear about the story of Play with Clay.
Great.
But more than anything, I think what we want to do here is just celebrate the journey you've been on this whole time.
Fantastic. All right, where do we start?
Well, I thought it would be fun to begin with a blitz questionnaire.
Okay.
So I thought I'm going to rattle off as many questions as I can in 60 seconds.
Okay.
And you are going to answer them as fast as you can.
Wow, no pressure.
No
Got it.
pressure.
Got it.
So let's put 60 seconds on the clock.
Damn.
I know. So
All
this.
right.
So these are rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask as many as I can in 60
it.
seconds.
Got it.
And you just answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. No overthinking.
Okay.
No long stories.
All right.
Just gut answers.
Okay.
Okay?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. What was your first job?
I was a busboy at Swiss Chalet.
How old were you at the time?
I was 14 years old.
How many careers have you had between then until Play with Clay?
Probably half a dozen.
Why did you expand into Center Wellington?
We moved here, I fell in love with the town and loved the city.
What is your favorite part of operating Play with Clay Fergus?
I love being part of people's lives and community, believe it or not.
What is your proudest work accomplishment so far?
You know what? Every day, just being able to connect with guests and doing good things.
What is your proudest moment you've ever been of your team or employees?
Just seeing them function and work with our customers, and all my training come to fruition.
What advice would you give an employee on the first day of Play with Clay?
Just be a sponge.
What has changed the most at Play with Clay since you've started?
That's many.
Not,
9 questions.
damn. That wasn't a lot.
I was supposed to say, 9 questions. That's pretty good, but I was expecting a lot more, to be honest.
Some of them were yes or no.
I know. Almost all of them were not yes or no.
Yeah. Well, some I could throw a quick answer in, and then others, I couldn't help put thought into it. Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. That's what we're here for. Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning. Let's
ahead.
go to the origin. Play with Clay doesn't exist. It's only an idea in your mind. How did we get from there to where we are today?
Very good. So, my wife at the time was a potter, and she took a whole bunch of pottery classes, went to school for it, and then we were looking to start a business, and I was looking to plug my wife into a business. That's where she wanted to go, and I used her art background and her pottery background and moved into a space where she can excel at, and we created Play with Clay. So we combined ready-made painting ceramics and pottery together with a combination of workshops and classes and kids camps and a whole bunch of fun things together. And it grew into what it is today, which is a beautiful thing.
So I've never heard of a competitor of yours. If I go online and
there's many competitors.
This is a very competitive world?
Oh, it's very competitive. Pottery is very competitive. There's lots of competitors. There's folks doing pottery in their home. A lot of different businesses kicking around. We've managed to blend in a few different things together. Makes us maybe a little more unique, but I think what makes this very unique is just the space we create, where it's very open and welcoming, and folks can come in, beginners can come in and enjoy themselves and just have a good afternoon or evening.
Is there like a snottiness or like a snootiness to, why is your place welcoming and encouraging?
Well, we're Canadian, and we're very nice,
right?
And we're very polite.
So
and
obvious.
we just love, and we just say thank you, and you're welcome, and
to everyone who comes in.
And sorry, and it's just a welcoming space.
Really?
Yeah.
So first store was in 2009?
2009, downtown Guelph, yeah.
And what was that first year like?
The first year was interesting because we had opened the store back in 2009, and I thought that the store was going to open, my wife was going to be there, and then I would be away doing other things. And then
so you didn't really think you were going to be super involved with the business?
No,
at
not
the
at
beginning?
all. No.
Like this was more of a like, hey, this is for you, dear. Goodbye. You go lead this.
And then the fishing rod just cast me in a little bit, cast me in a little bit more, and then I'm just sucked right in, and then being involved in the day-to-day and just running it, and this is what we've been doing.
What were you doing at the time?
At the time, I worked for this company called Pegasus Group, and we opened up different restaurants and different chains and things like that, and so I would just help with franchisees and franchisors and stuff like that, and work at the head office capacity.
You know, restaurant industry is not well known to give you lots of free space in your everyday life to also start and run a business. How did you...
I had to make a choice.
Were you able to balance both for a while, or?
Yes, I tried my best to balance both for a while, and then I just had to make a hard decision where to end one and start another, yeah.
Really, eh? Mm-hmm. But how long did you go for before you finally...
It's a good question. I probably went for about 6 months where I was just exhausted, and then...
just all the time?
And then I was just being pulled left and right, and just made a decision.
And that was like the point, eh?
Yes,
were you, like in your mind, were you kind of thinking maybe I should just... Obviously, we know how it ended up. You chose Play with Clay. Mm-hmm. Play with Clay's expanded. Mm-hmm. It's in 4 different townships or cities in Ontario.
That's right, yeah.
But at that time, you didn't know that was the future. You didn't know that was going to be what was going to happen. So was there a chance that you were going to go down the path of just like, all right, I'm not going to run Play with Clay. I'm going to let that be in the hands of my wife. I'm just going to mainly do the restaurant thing. Like, how close was that decision?
It was pretty close, but then it got to a point where I was just looking at the growth and how the response from the community, and then how close it was to our home, and it really would create a really good work-life balance, and that was important at the time as well. It still is today, and so then hindsight's 2020. Looking back, it was a great decision, but it was scary at the time. But not necessarily scary, but when I make a decision, I move forward with the decision. I don't look back on trying to think about a different way the decision could have been made. I just force that decision make that decision the right one.
How important is it to not have regret of the decisions you've made?
Oh, it's super important. It's just like the last sentence I said. No matter what, there will be 20, maybe more. There will be a lot of different ways for the better answer. There's always a better answer. There's always a better way. So whatever way you decide or whatever answer you choose, force that one to be the best way. Could be more forcing, could be more work, but make that answer the best one and make that way the best way.
Make it the best answer.
Make it. Force it.
I love that. You know, I always used to think in my mind, decision making, maybe you go with A, you go with B, you go with C, or you go with D. Probably all of them are somewhere between a C plus to a B minus answer. Like they're all going to be okay. So just pick one and go with it. But what I'm hearing from you is saying, just pick one and make it an A plus.
Make it the A plus, because there's always a better way. Even if you sit down, break it down, write it all out, and then you'll just know that out of all the work you've done, there's still a better way to do it. So instead of worrying about all that, force it. Speed is important. Force it, make it happen, start with it, and go.
Now, I know that I was just asking not to regret.
Sounds cliche.
It does sound cliche, but sometimes the cliche things are right, I think.
Man, yeah. Yeah.
So if there was one thing, I know we said no regrets, all the decisions we've chosen, we made the A plus decision. If there was one thing you could do, if you would go back from the beginning and do it differently, what would it be?
No. That would go against everything I just said.
I know,
everything.
But there's got to be something that you think,
There's, every decision you've ever made, you've always realized there's a better, faster way.
That's true.
You've discovered.
Only if you dwell on it.
Only if you dwell on it, for sure. But no matter what, even if you don't dwell on it, if you think about it, if you made a decision, like for instance this podcast or anything else, there was like, I could have done this step and that step. But everything is a learning process.
That's true.
Everything.
For me also the big thing is I try to say to myself, like, maybe I'm taking the decision today that's going to be a B minus or a C plus decision. But similar, like what you're saying, it's like, I'm not going to turn it into an A+ overnight, but eventually, and so the podcast is a great example because I was like, I just kind of began with an idea. I was just like, oh, like I'm just going to try my absolute best to, you know, put this thing out there, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch what I did and decide, oh, this could have been better, this could have been better, this could have been better. I'm going to change those things. But I still could have gone back and said, I wish I'd done those things from the beginning.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So there's nothing that you would have done differently.
And you seem like you're light on your feet in terms of not being stubborn. Like, this is what I want to do. This is how I have to do it. Sometimes, a lot of times, the market or the business wants you to pivot and change. And like, oh, I want to work with only this. And next thing you know, you have to add this and add this and add this. And you have to basically keep massaging it and allowing it to change on its own.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that is me. Lauren, this is a message for you, my dear wife. Mario just said that I'm willing to change and I'm light on my feet. So I want you to remember that next time that we are having a conversation about having to change our ideas. So Mario, thank you for siding with me. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
So year one, within 6 months, you said that you took it off all on your own.
Yes.
You jumped in full time.
Yes.
Was there like a point where you said like, oh, this is going to work? Because I feel like at the beginning, there's...
Oh, heck no. I think entrepreneurship, especially brick and mortar, it's very time sensitive, and then you're always in survival mode. You know, I used to think that, you know, if you run it for 5 years or if you run it for 10 years, it's easy coasting and it just runs itself.
That's I hope that's happening.
That is not happening in entrepreneurship.
Oh no.
Every week will be week one. Not so much week one in terms of training and not knowing what's going on and guessing what you're doing. You'll have your routines, you'll have your market, you'll have what you want to sell.
Sure.
But you're always in survival mode, and there'll always be some fluttering bugs in your stomach, and then just make sure you just manage it properly. And then when you don't have fear, I think that you don't care about what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you do have fear, that means you're alert, you're aware, and you're always just managing it, and then always trying to be better.
So that fear, though, I find you're right, totally important.
Yeah.
But it can, when left unchecked, can be a thorn in the side. It can stop us from making decisions because we're afraid, because we're making a decision from a place of fear. So was there ever, like, even thinking about that first year or so, or even that first season, was there like a big decision that you knew was looming that you eventually had to make? Not maybe so much like leaving your old job, but even once you were fully in, or like even expanding or hiring staff or bringing in, like, what was that like?
Well, all of that, you know, might allocate to one area, which is, again, the fear, trusting the fear, knowing that it's always going to be there, knowing that you're not unique to it, that we all have it and we all manage it in different ways. But the best way to manage it is have a window where I'm allowed to have this fear, and then when the fear increases a little bit higher than your typical day, your typical week, put work in. Work on your website more, work on hiring, work on creating new advertising, new marketing, and things like that, and reconnecting with your guests. But yeah, so for the most part, definitely just embrace it, and it's healthy to know it's there.
Okay, so what was the first big milestone after you jumped in? It's month 6, you've jumped in full time.
Yeah.
What was the first big milestone after that?
The first big milestone after that. So, man, I would say the biggest milestone at Play with Clay was when we were in Guelph, and we operated in Guelph. And we had so much fun, and that was a great town, great community, still is. We operate the Play with Clay in downtown Guelph, and that's transformed into the Clay Bar. But the milestone was opening up, leaning on a pen, and signing another lease and opening up in Cambridge. And then we had a staff member that worked for us for about 5 years. Her name was Isabel, and she mentioned she was interested in Play with Clay. Running a Play with Clay. She was very young at the time, and we opened up a Play with Clay with her in downtown Hamilton on Locke Street.
How close was the Hamilton and Cambridge launch?
1 year.
So you went from one location to 3 locations in 1 year.
Yeah. So what happens in business and in life is that there's never a good time for anything. So if you're waiting for the right time or a good time, it's never going to come. So imagine being a couple and you're married or you're not married and you want to have a kid and you're waiting for, you want to make this amount of money, you want to live, you want
my home to look like this.
You want to live in this house. You're never going to have kids because you're never going to have the right amount of money. You're never going to live in the right house for the situation that you want. So that goes back to forcing it to make it right, whatever decision you make. So I just know in business, there's always going to be something in your life that pops up or that's happening at the time that you can shelf something and you can put it on the side, no matter what. I don't care what it is, whatever's happening at the time. You're like, oh no, I shouldn't do that because this is happening in my life.
But how do you determine, like, because obviously, I think you're right. I couldn't agree more with the notion that you can't just put off because there's always going to be a reason. There's always going to be a reason to not do the thing you want to do, right?
Always.
But so my big question is, how do you determine what is like just that fear gnawing at you, and you have to just break free, take that step forward, even if it is a risk, versus understanding what is the legitimate reason to not move forward at this time?
I really don't think there's not too many reasons not to move forward.
Wow.
I think that you could always press forward and manage things. If you want something done, ask a busy person. And really, I just think that you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it, or you're going to build excuses not to do something. And timing. Certain opportunities come up. Mind you, definitely a double-edged sword. You can't be jumping into everything and anything. You have to be confident in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to be confident in the product you're putting out, because we're selling something. So we're selling a product, we're selling a service, we're selling something. And I think the combination of all that together and just pulling the trigger and going ahead with it.
So how would you describe, with all that in mind, how would you describe that first year where you were operating a Play with Clay in Guelph, Cambridge, and Hamilton?
It was, you know what? You have to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Because those are the medals on your jacket. The whole process.
The person who says that, I feel like, is speaking from someone who has stories that things didn't always go exactly as planned.
Oh, nothing goes as planned ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Always start your day and expect a good amount of issues to arise.
Of discomfort.
100%.
Of misery.
100%.
Of challenge.
100%. You're constantly putting out fires. That's a nice way of putting it. There's a lot of BS happening in the world and in your life.
Yeah.
And in the world, for instance, definitely not going to dive into that. But no matter what, if it's not this issue or that issue or this price or that price going up, there's always something.
Well, I think we have to be able to separate ourselves. Like, as much as we are in this world, you know what I mean? We operate in this world, we live in this world. We almost have to, at least, and so this is like, I feel like I look to people like you, these entrepreneurs who are decades plus into their journey. I'm, maybe just a couple of years in. And I look to you and I sort of say, like, that's the roadmap of where I'd like to go, where I'd like to be. But one of the things I think I've learned along the way is there has to be a time when you can just say, you know what? Like, I have all these thoughts or those opinions about the world is operating this way or that way, and I have to hang that up because I have to run my business. You know what I mean? Like, and I've said to clients before, listen, I'm not going to talk to you. The last thing I want to talk to you about are things like politics. The last thing I want to talk to you, because frankly, it doesn't have to do with what we're doing now. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying every business isn't like that. I'm not saying that that's going to affect everyone. But the truth is like, I want to be the best me I can be.
If we're in finance and the market and the world,
you're right. Maybe be a little bit different.
And decisions. You know, you have to discuss politics.
Sure,
but
little folk like us.
Little folks like us.
We don't.
Simple-minded folks like us.
One brain cell.
Just want breakfast, want to do work, want some
As opposed
dinner
to those
later.
smart people who are eating 4 breakfasts, isn't it?
Those, anyway, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
1 breakfast?
Yeah, completely right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Basically, the business doesn't care how you feel.
No.
And you have to show up.
Yeah.
And shove down all your home stuff, and then just come and enjoy the day with the guests that you get, that you have the luxury to entertain.
So you got to have some stories from that first year. Walk me through what a normal, typical day for Mario was in the year that 3 locations were operating simultaneously.
You know what? It's just, it feels like a regular day at this point. And you just get up. You can only chew on so much at a time, no matter what. You only could do what you could do. So just pick what you want to chew on it, and get that done, and then move on. No matter what, your to-do list is always going to be there. You'll never strike everything off that to-do list.
Yeah.
You're going to just hit it at importance levels and just keep chipping away.
Was there any stories? Anything that's come out?
Stories?
Yeah, man. Dude, you own 3 businesses where you weren't even at all at the same time. I feel like you must have walked into one and been like, what is going on?
There's always like nightmare renovation stories, you know, because when you take a unit, you kind of have an idea what's going on with the unit.
Okay, so walk me through. Tell me one of these nightmare renovation
So you know
stories.
what, you just basically, you know, you take over a space, and then with commercial spaces, it's tricky because the landlord is completely hands off.
Yeah.
And you've already leaned on the pen, you've signed the lease, and then the surprises kick in. You know, you have to upgrade the electrical, and the landlord is not going to help you. I have not experienced a landlord that's willing to help you financially into the space. They almost take you on to improve their space, and you improve their space, and you improve their investment. And it's an investment for yourself as well.
Of course.
Because you need to make those changes to operate.
So really, they see you as a way of...
Well, they don't...
And we're not...
They don't see you as a way. It just ends up being like that.
Yeah.
It's just like the landlord-tenant game. So then you're going to go in, and then I've had to, in Hamilton, for instance, both actually, Hamilton and Cambridge, we've had to make massive upgrades to the electrical system, and it's a lot of money you don't really budget for. Wow. And you just sit there and you're just like, wow, what am I gonna do? This thing can go belly up before this thing even starts.
Oh, I don't want to hear that.
That's a lot of fun things, right? So anyway, it's just there's always renovation nightmares, and with that said, you force it to make it right.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you've launched.
This is coming from people that operate with not a lot of money. There's spaces where they operate with big budgets and a lot of money,
and then it doesn't matter.
And they just throw money at their problem, and then they go to bed. They wake up and it's all done. But little guys just starting out, and little guys just chugging away.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm a little guy. I never feel like I just feel like I'm always in the store, and I work it myself, and I try to be there as much as I can. And I just feel like I'm just always hands-on, right in the ground, boots in. Yeah.
Well, one time a client said this to me, and it really it's very similar to what you said, but it always stuck with me. She owns and operates 4 businesses, right? And she said to me one time, you know, a lot of people think just because you own these 4 storefronts that you're rolling with it. You got all this year. It's so much money. You're doing amazing. She's like, that's not the case. Like, there's so many expenses tied to the stores. There's seasons where the stores don't even operate at a surplus, right? Because you're having to get through the low seasons. You're gonna have to get through the low seasons before getting to the high seasons.
You ever work for free for a year?
No.
Okay. You ever work every single day for a year for free?
No.
Okay. If you're not prepared to work for free with a smile on your face and bust your tail, maybe entrepreneurship is not for you.
It's true.
I've worked for free for a long time.
Yeah.
And you work for free, and you just basically, I'm just throwing the word free around, but basically you're working all week long.
Yeah.
And
Well, what do you, hold on, pause.
ahead,
What do
go
you
ahead.
mean by free? Because free is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I still have a mortgage. I
Yeah.
still have, so it's like, have I
Yeah.
paid myself the
Yeah.
absolute minimum
Yeah.
so I can invest most I can back into the business?
There's that.
For sure.
And then there's operating Play with Clay in downtown Guelph, and then opening up another Play with Clay, but not collecting a paycheck, not being able to collect a paycheck.
Wow.
And so it's literally some income's coming in somewhere, and then
Well, at this point, this Guelph, I imagine the Guelph location is well established.
it's established, and you could draw a paycheck from somewhere,
Yeah.
and then but over here, you can't draw anything.
Yeah.
So you're putting in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and even a bit longer
Yeah.
at not being able to draw a salary and just focusing all your attention and energy into making something, flowering something,
And just
basically.
wanting it.
Continuously
But that's the whole
watering it.
that's the whole entrepreneurial thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you're going in hoping that knowing today it's going to
Mm-hmm.
actually cost you money to do this, but one day it's going to get to a point where it's going to start.
In a nutshell.
But when do you eventually give up? Is there a time, like, not saying you specifically, but again,
That's,
like you
that's a
can't.
hard one, man. I could just throw something around like, it's not. Oh, this one might hurt, but it's not businesses that fail. Sometimes the owners don't want to do it anymore, and the business could have had an opportunity. I'm not sure. Every situation is different, so I can't speak for anyone's situation or any other business. But man, if you believe in something, super cliche, but if you're delivering a good service, a good product, and you continuously try to deliver it and keep it consistent, it can turn around for you.
So what do you think
If
trips? What trips people up the most? What trips up entrepreneurs the most? Do you think?
Oh man, I can't even get into other people's brains. I don't get into other people's brains. I don't try to worry about
Other people's businesses.
other people's businesses and what they're doing. And if I invest time to what everyone else is doing, and then I'm not doing what I want to do, I'm doing what they're doing, and I'm bringing it over here. So if I ignore what they're doing and I only focus on what I'm doing, I own what I'm doing 100%, and I believe in what I'm doing as 100%. So if I'm looking at how things are done everywhere else, I'm basically bringing the Big Mac in my store, and I'm selling Big Macs.
Right.
And I don't need to sell Big Macs. I'll sell whatever I need to sell.
The Mario Whopper.
The way I believe into it, how I believe it.
Yeah.
And I own it 100%.
Yeah.
And I fully believe it 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you have this store in Fergus, that must
Yeah.
mean that all these other stores are just giant cash cows at this point. You must be raking in
Oh yeah.
millions. At
Oh,
this
millions
point.
and millions.
What's it like being
the
a
opposite of millions? Well, so the store in Cambridge,
Yeah.
we sold it to a woman named Erica. So
Oh.
she operates that one.
You sold it.
We sold it back in 2019. Yeah, 2019.
Was she wasn't the same person who you launched with?
No. This she's from Cambridge, and
Yeah.
she still operates it today.
Yeah.
And she's awesome. She runs a great store. And then
How did that conversation? She's walked in one day.
walked in one
love
day,
what you're doing.
love what we're doing, and then and just made the connection, and everything was just right. And then
Were you looking to sell at that point? Like, was that on the mind?
no, not necessarily. No,
Not necessarily.
no. It just kind of evolved into that.
Okay.
And then Isabel worked for us, and then she wanted to play with clay, and then we set her up, and then she's been flourishing over there in Cambridge. In downtown Hamilton on Lock Street.
On Lock Street.
On Lock Street, yeah.
Oh no way! So it's close to Monster Donut. Talk to me.
Monster Donuts
Monster.
down the road, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got it right, Monster Donut. And then
It's Donut Monster. I'm sorry.
it's Donut Monster.
It's Donut Monster.
Oh damn, I don't.
Sorry
know.
to sorry to all my Hamilton friends.
Personally, I think Monster Donut sounds better, but nevertheless.
Business advice from
there
the
you
man
go.
who's made it.
There you go. And then actually, I think Isabel made like monster mugs for
For Donut Monster.
for Donut Monster, yeah, and they're
way.
pretty sweet. And then living in Fergus for the past.
So were you living in Fergus that whole time?
No,
2016, you.
we lived in Guelph.
Okay.
In 2016, we moved to Fergus, and then living in Fergus. and then operating Guelph Play with Clay and the clay bar. And then we decided to open up. I was like, man, there's a vacuum here, and Fergus is a great town, and we love this town. We love this community. It's obviously not as busy as other areas that we've moved into, but I think there's a market here. And we would know that we would cannibalize some Play with Clay business at the same time. Basically, folks come from this end of town coming to Guelph, but we did it anyway. And have no regrets.
Yeah, have no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
We love it.
That was like a meme for a long time. No regrets.
I think one guy spelled. Oh, it was a tattoo.
It was a tattoo.
He put a tattoo, and he had no regrets, and so I have no regrets.
You're one of the most meme savvy entrepreneurs I've ever talked to. I feel like you know more than the young folk out there.
I have a simple brain.
I forgot we're the one brain cell people.
Really simple brain.
We just look at our phone.
So when I see something 6'7", I don't let it go, and I just keep going with it.
My daughter says 6'7" all the time.
Yeah. I think I saw a baby saying 6'7".
No, you did.
I did. This thing was like maybe, it could have been like 14 months or something ridiculous, and I saw a baby doing 6'7", and that's when I just like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Her first words.
How do I turn this into profit for me? You go back to Play with Clay. Mario's making a 6'7" giant mug.
Well, it's like anything else. When I start saying it, it's cringy.
It is cringy.
So, yeah, I operate in the cringe zone.
Because your team's pretty young, right? You've got a young staff.
I have a young staff, and you know what? I really like my staff out here in Fergus.
But they think you're cringy, though, even though they like you?
Oh, 100%. They just tune me right out completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you so you didn't come here thinking, I'm going to start a Play with Clay here in Fergus. You just kind of came here because the love for the country, or?
No, we couldn't buy a house in Guelph. We couldn't afford one at the time.
But those millions of dollars.
I know. We couldn't. We got outbid everywhere in Guelph. We couldn't afford anything. So we moved to Fergus, and we found a home here. And we took a gamble on it, and no regrets.
No regrets?
Nope.
No regrets. So you moved here. When the idea of launching the Fergus Play with Clay, you had a playbook by this point. You'd done it 3 times.
Oh, I knocked on the doors on this whole street. There was no vacancy on the street. It's not a big downtown.
Yeah.
It's like 2 blocks.
It's very short, yeah.
One street only.
Listen, we're no Guelph, but I think we got character.
Oh, the character is beautiful here. It's got a lot of history in this old Scottish town, and beautiful stonework. And I love small downtowns. I'm sorry, I love downtown areas especially as well. But there's no vacancy up and down the street. So then I just went and I literally just knocked on the door. If I saw a business that was maybe the owner was trying to exit, because downtown Fergus, there's a lot of business owner operated buildings. So the person would own the building and operate the business underneath. Oh. So it's changing though. They're more turning into landlords now. It's growing.
So you. This is very interesting to me. So I always thought if I want to own a business store, I'm just going to keep on every day going to Google and typing in commercial real estate Fergus.
No.
And just waiting until one. But you would so what's the benefit of what value do you get from knocking the door?
Speed. So I had a window where I wanted to do it. So then I went and I knocked on a door. And then I spoke to the owner. And then we were negotiating, we're talking. She's like, this sounds interesting. So I pitched all these different scenarios that we can enter into the space. And then and that didn't work out. So a lot of time gone, which is but hang on. Hang on. So then that person directed me somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then from that decision there, and I was also knocking on other doors as well. I had other trying to hatch other eggs at the same time. But that person directed me to somewhere else where my current landlord, which is an awesome lady, she's been running her store. It used to be called Joni's Gift Shop.
I've been in that store.
So, well, that's the space I'm in. So then her name is, I don't know if I should plug her name. Her name is Kim.
Okay.
She's very nice.
Sorry, Kim.
Sorry, Kim. So Kim is the landlord of the space that I'm in now.
Yeah.
But she operated her business in there. And ironically, at the same time that I was knocking on doors and I was directed from another store to come talk to Kim, Kim was looking to retire her business.
Perfect timing.
She just wanted to be a landlord. She wanted to work on other things. So then I met with Kim, and I happened to already know Kim. So then I went in, and I knew Kim, which kind of made the transition and the conversation a little easier because she already knew what we did and who we were.
Yeah.
So that kind of made it easier, and it's less competitive when it's not on the market.
Right.
So then once it's on the market, you're not really dealing with a face-to-face with the landlord. You're dealing with these layers of realtors.
Yeah.
And I don't know what direction they want to go and things like that. This way you get to go and grab...
Actually talk to the owner.
Talk to the owner. And we just made the connection. And just in a short time, we just leaned on a pen and made it happen.
Wow. I love the phrase lean on a pen.
So you got to lean on it to make the ink come out.
So you've... That's true.
Yeah.
So you've got there's the 4 stores now, but the Cambridge one is sold. The Hamilton one still owned and operated by you.
No.
Isabel,
she's the owner operator.
She purchased it as well.
She purchases as well.
So the ones you own yourselves are Guelph and here. So what's the relationship like with those other stores?
Oh, it's great.
Do they look to you for anything? Is it just sort of like satellite location? You guys are great. We love you. Keep doing your thing.
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
You get to a point where they're going to do things a little differently, no matter what, and you have to respect that because they have a different market from you.
Yeah.
And they have to have the freedom to do that and being able to do that.
Are you looking to the future? Are you hoping to have, is that the business model? Open up other locations, have people take over?
No.
I could own and play with clay.
Yes, we'd definitely. I'll be open to discussing things like that. But we're happy with what's going on, and because everything is time and energy. Of course. So it just depends how much time. If you take me out of here, then this area will suffer, and so on.
Right.
And being owner operator of the stores and the face of the stores and stuff like that, it's important that I'm there, and I really enjoy being there.
Yeah.
I enjoy that and that aspect more.
Well, I do feel like you specifically are so associated with, whenever I walk in, I just anticipate you're going to be there.
Because I have to be there.
I never think, there might be someone else who's this. One of Mario's goons are going to be there. I'm always like, oh no, Mario's going to be there.
You got to be there. Yeah. If you're going to be owner operator, you gotta be there for sure.
Do you think there's a level of having to let go? Because at the same time, there's owners who
I think
you said you didn't want to get in the minds of other entrepreneurs, but I feel like there's times where people hold on to the reins of things too long. Not that I'm saying you do this, but I'm saying is there a point where you're I have to let other people run because they might have skills you don't have, and
there's a time to work hard and a time to not work hard, and then you just put the foot on the gas, take the foot off the gas, and just.
Oh, I'm not even saying take off. I'm saying go invest in other things.
Completely taking myself out. That's a decision, right?
Yeah.
It just depends what you need to do at the time or what you feel like your calling is at the time, and that can happen.
Wow.
For sure.
So you really feel like the personality, especially in the small businesses, the personality of the owner is super core and central to the success of the business?
Well, yes, and then you know what? I'm really blessed with an amazing wife, and she really supports me with all my crazy decisions. Not all of them have been good over the years.
But did you make them A+ decisions?
I forced them to.
You forced them to
be my standard of A+, as much as A+ I can be. But again, you know, there's always a better way. I could have done it better. But I definitely try to force it as much as I can, yeah.
Of course, but no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets, no regrets. Alrighty, I want to do something I've been looking forward to this whole time.
Okay.
So, but I have to move these. You know what's funny? The first 4 times I did the podcast, there was nothing here. The coffee was on the other table. The one time it's here, it's down here. So I'm actually going to pass these to you. You can put them wherever you want.
Are we arm wrestling?
Winner gets play with clay.
What are we doing here?
I'll show you in a second. Here we go. Hold on. Do you want to refill before?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Do it again, but with my cup.
Okay.
You went too fast. You already lost cause. All right. Perfect. Alrighty.
I would like to do a little vault plug. This is my favorite coffee shop.
We shout out the vault all the time. Love the vault.
And I know it is the only coffee shop, so
Maybe in Fergus.
In Fergus.
But there's some amazing coffee shops in Center Wellington. Especially, we have the owners of Wild and Free Cafe coming on next week. So there's a lot of really great coffee shops here. Sorry, I don't mean to...
I would have to go test out their Americano, but I've trained the staff here.
You've trained these staff?
I've personally...
She's shaking her... She's nodding.
I've personally trained the staff how I like my Americano. And my Americano is typically, the real Americano is a shot of espresso and topped up with hot water. But I've convinced the staff and trained the staff that when Mario walks in and I order Americano is to pull the espresso right from the bottom right to the top.
Doesn't that make it bitter?
Oh, it's spicy. It's beautiful. You taste all the coffee and all of the hot water came through the espresso all the way through, and no outside hot water that wasn't influenced by the flavors of the coffee. And I really enjoy their coffee. I can't tell you where they get their coffee from, but I know I like it. And the most important thing besides taste of coffee is temperature. And their temperature is hot, and it has to be very hot.
Wow.
And I love it. That's it.
There you go. See if you haven't tried that. Because Americano is what I have. Like, that's
Just
my drink usually.
Come here and ask for the Mario
Ask for the
Americano,
Mario? Ask
and
for the Mario.
they'll serve it for you.
Okay.
And you'll never have another Americano.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, all right.
On your word, I'm going to do it.
All right.
All right, let's do this. I need you to film this, though, because there's no shot, I think, of this part of the table.
Sure.
Maybe even a stable shot might be good. Yeah, perfect.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Oh. You got it?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to put it on the table. Tell me when you're filming.
That'd be great.
All right.
Okay. You're good.
I brought this big wheel with me.
What is happening?
So you're going to spin this wheel.
Okay.
And what's going to happen is when you spin this wheel, it's going to land on a corresponding color.
Got it.
And then you... Well, now I don't know if I should tell you what's going to happen based off the color or not.
Okay.
Maybe you should just spin. What would you like to know ahead of time?
I do not want to know.
You don't want to know.
I might change my mind about spinning the wheel if I do know.
Okay. So then give it a spin. Give it a really good one. A really good one. I feel like you could have done a better spin.
I could have done
You
that.
could have done it better. Oh, blue.
It's one of my favorite colors.
Do you love blue?
Sure.
Is blue the most popular color?
No, there's no popular color.
That can't be true.
Everyone loves everything.
There's no popular color?
There's no
You're
popular
not looking at
color.
the inventory and seeing, oh, dang, we're
There
really
is
spending
not.
twice as much money on deep purple than we are on...
I'm telling you, there's no popular color. Every color will be chosen by someone. And just when you're thinking like, who would pick that? That person comes in and they have not seen that their whole life and they love it.
Okay. So what I have here is the board of great questions.
Got it.
And so this is big questions, big answers.
Yeah.
So because you pulled the blue, I'm going to ask you to pull and reveal the question behind blue.
Okay.
And it's going to ask you, what I tried to do here is create a collection of the big questions, the really difficult challenge questions. So you remember at the beginning when I said answer as fast as you can? This is the opposite. Lean into this question.
Okay, I'm good at not answering as fast as I can, obviously from the 60-second quiz.
I know, you made about 30, I think 9 questions. Anyways, so go ahead and reveal the blue. So right
Start from here?
Start from here.
Got it. I'm pulling here.
You're pulling here?
I'm pulling here. Got it. And I keep going.
You keep going.
Yeah, I keep going. Got it.
Oh, don't break it.
No, I'm not going to break it. So if you could sit down with yourself on day one, what would you say? If I could sit down with myself on day one, what would I say? Day one of what? Day one of anything? So it's going to be okay. I really think it's going to be okay. And if you keep at it, and then you look at the end line, and you love and you respect the process to getting to the end line, and you enjoy the process, because once you get to the end line, that process is gone forever. And then you're at an end line, and then you're operating something on this side. But that process here, you'll never get it back because it's gone. And if you enjoy that beginning process to get to the end line, and the end line continues, really enjoy that grind, that whatever is happening during that time, it's like almost like a small baby. And you have that first year with the baby, and the baby's not sleeping, and you're up, and all these crazy things are happening in your life. But that process, once it's passed, you can't get it back with that child. You have to make another child. So you have to make another business to have that process come back and enjoy that process. So from day one, I would definitely encourage people to relish that moment, because that is a process that's gone forever at that moment afterwards. And then there's new steps in your life, and there's new steps to the business, but just enjoying that time. How'd I do?
Well, I think you did great. I think you did great. Mary, I think
You're just saying that.
I am saying that. It's on my cues. Tell guests they did great, no matter how piss
Canadian.
poor.
Cheers.
Cheers. We never cheers this whole time.
Really? Oh.
I don't think so.
On your show, or me and you?
Oh, well, both probably.
Okay, well then whatever.
Well, there, now we just did.
There we did.
Then we'll share that
There we
moment
go.
for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Good.
Alrighty. Mario, thank
Yes.
you so much for being a part of this. I'm going to just wrap us up, and then we'll be out of here.
Okay.
Mario,
Yes.
thank you so much for being part of this podcast. It
Thank
was
you for
awesome.
having me.
Well, it was so much fun.
Thank
you
you.
were a fun person. I feel like
Well, thank you.
I targeted you. I looked at you from a long ways away, and I
Yeah.
said, he's got to be on this
Yeah,
thing. Right
he's
away.
not normal. He's definitely on some type of,
He's unhinged, that
Yeah.
guy. He'll say whatever we want him to say. And
yeah, 100%.
And for everyone watching or listening, if you want the full conversation, not just the highlights, you can find the full episodes of The Early Bird on our website, twobirdsmarketing.ca, as well on YouTube Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Remember, no regrets.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, that's it. Thank you so
That's
much
it.
for doing
Well,
this. I
great.
really appreciate it.
Awesome.